In this video, I want to discuss how to change the circumstances of our lives. I'm very blessed to be involved in a lot of people's lives, both from my private practice and from my workshops. And I would say the common denominator of a question that I get asked is, how do I change something? How do I move from point A to point B? How do I change my relationship? How do I lose weight? How do I feel more self-worth? How do I feel more calm? How do I deal with my emotions? How do I change something? How do I change circumstances in my life? And there are many answers to that question. Of course, we have to understand lots of concepts. We have to understand certain rules within relationships. We have to understand certain rules in our well-being. We have to understand certain rules on self-worth, which you can look on my YouTube channel for the videos on self-worth and all the other topics as well. But we have to know the rules. But I like to say that there is a starting point that is fundamental and critical if we're really going to put everything into changing the circumstances, changing our circumstances. If we're really going to own our lives, and we're really going to put these rules into place and these strategies into place, then we've really got to give it our full whack. We've got to give it our full mental and mind power and give all our energy towards it. And there's a fundamental idea that I think is so critical that I see so many people breaking, and that really holds them back. It really becomes a big blockage for them. It becomes a barrier in them moving forward. And I want to share what that thing is in this video. So this fundamental idea is as follows. I hear a lot of people saying, Joe, it shouldn't be this way. Joe, this shouldn't have happened to me. Joe, my spouse should do X, Y, or Z. My spouse should be more caring, more loving. My spouse shouldn't have done what they did. My business partner shouldn't have done this. My business partner should be more grateful and more appreciative for what I do. My kids should be da, 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 da. I hear this word a lot, should. And what that suggests is that we're suggesting that reality that we currently have right now in this very moment shouldn't be what it is. So effectively what we're saying is, I'm not okay with the reality that exists because it shouldn't be this way. It's unfair. It should be different. And what I say to people is the follows. Reality is what it is, independent if we like it, independent if we asked for it, independent if it's fair and just. It just is. The reality exists. The reality that we have right now is going on right now. It's ticking by. And the only question we have is, do we work with the reality or do we deny the reality? Do we beat the reality up? Do we sit there wishing for something to be different? Do we sit there and wait and hope that someone will make the first move or something will happen in this big game of life, that someone will move a piece and therefore I can then deal with life? So effectively we're saying, I can't deal with reality, I've got to wait for something to change or someone else to change. And if we have that kind of perspective that this shouldn't be, and I'm just going to wait and wish and spend all my energy and time thinking about how unfair and how unjust it is, what we get is actually more injustice. Because while we're not dealing with reality, things don't stay the same. Generally speaking, rule of thumb, that things that aren't dealt with normally get worse over time, right? If we don't deal with things, they turn into bigger problems. I like to compare it to the concept of the dashboard on the car. Right? When your petrol light comes on and you've got to spend 60 quid filling up your tank of petrol, it's a pain in the neck, but it's actually going to let you get further. But if you don't deal with the petrol light and you don't fill up with the petrol, I can guarantee and make a really good prediction that you are going to break down. So if you don't deal with the petrol light and don't spend the money that needs to be spent to deal with the reality that your car's running out of petrol and that you need petrol to run the car, which is just a reality and a truth, then you're going to break down. And now what you have is a massive problem which could have been solved and stopped had we just done and followed the rules of working with the reality that the car needed some petrol. So if we don't deal with the reality that's at hand, we don't deal with the reality that exists, independent if we like it, independent if we ask for it, independent if it's fair, then we're actually going to get more stuff that we don't like. We're going to get more stuff that we didn't ask for, and we're going to get more stuff that's unjust. The best way to get justice, the best way to create more fairness is to deal with the actual reality that exists. But what I'm seeing time in and time out, again and again, is that people beat up reality. They beat it up, and therefore they're not putting any energy into changing it. They may have all the strategies. Many times they do know what to do, but they're spending all their energy in why it shouldn't be this way, why they shouldn't have to. And therefore they didn't do anything about it. And the problem gets bigger and bigger because over time, generally speaking, things get worse if we are not trying to grow, if we're not trying to overcome that challenge. So we've got two choices. We can either beat up reality or deal with the reality that exists. Those are our two choices. And the question I have for anyone watching this video is, what is our mentality? Are we ready to accept any reality that comes our way? Independent if we like it, independent if it's fair, if we ask for it, independent if it's fair. If that's our attitude, then we're going to be a powerful being. We're going to be a powerful force to really get what we want, because everyone has stuff. No one's life goes in a straight line. I've worked with lots of people who've made either a lot of money or made a lot of difference or created great relationships. It didn't go in a straight line. Life doesn't go in a straight line. There's always going to be barriers. There's billions of interactions that are going on each day with the billions of people that live on this planet. Right? There's going to be things that happen that we didn't ask for, that we don't like, and that are unfair. It's just a reality. So what are we doing? How are we interacting with that reality? Are we beating it up for the fact that it's there, or are we engaging with it and owning it? And then we can put all the strategies that we know into place. And therefore we can then overcome the current reality that we don't like and that we didn't ask for and is unjust. Those are really the two choices that we have.